Okay, the last time I talked about the first phase of this exhibition, Intersection, at Dana Wiley's gallery, and how the first phase interacts with the second phase is what I want to talk about now. As I was exploring the lines that were part of the so-called Flora series, I began to become interested in the quality of line changing during the drawing. The lines became significant to the point where the stories that I was trying to tell with each image were made manifest through changes in line character. So while the earlier works had some thick, thin, it tended to be exaggerated in this drawing here and the two other drawings surrounding me. So the use of black became more prominent. A jet black ink that had its own character in terms of edge. They're opaque, but sometimes they break up. So they're lines that have a solid strength, but also sometimes they drift apart and you can sort of see through them. And then I talked about the relationship of shape in the earlier series. And in this drawing in particular, the shapes are more emphatically drawn. A little aside, I had recently completed a collage image, which is not part of this show, but it sort of kicked off this series in that through collage, I was literally using shape along with line to complete the drawing. So I was cutting up large pieces of different colored paper and just placing them on the surface. Not permanently, I used tape to hold the piece in place, and eventually that's how that entire collage was made. No glue, just tape. And in this case, there's no collage, but there are shapes that are articulated through an even color and a forceful edge contour. There's even a little illusion of a tape member holding those two shapes together. So I was becoming a little bit more conscious of what is the relationship between shape and line. Are shapes only what's created when lines intersect? Which is true, but as I said earlier, what I like to do within those shapes is put other shapes and other lines in, and not to basically claim that space as being one thing. And so that's in direct contrast to these other shapes, shapes and patterns and textures that are part of the drawing. And that remains true in these three drawings that are in this exhibition. What's emphasized here for the shapes is primarily texture. So this is arguably the most agitated surface of this group of drawings. It's called Gray Elegy. This one's titled Place Apart, Placing Shapes. The times we live in, it's hard not to be elegiac about almost everything that we experience on a daily basis. And this drawing, though it's not, it's not exhibiting any direct reference to some of the painful things that are occurring, it is a very agitated drawing. I'm generally a calm person, but art is about the world that we live in. This piece over here is titled Donbass Divisions. And it was this piece where the lines started to take, well, I should say continued to be very closely aligned to divisions on the surface of the globe. In other words, a kind of a map-like quality. And this drawing was started the year the Ukraine war started. Hard to believe how long that's been going on. And essentially it's about these divisions that a very small percentage of individuals get so excited about they have to fight over. Whereas the mass, the huge percentage of the general public, the masses, have no feelings about that whatsoever. They're just victims of it. So again, it is an image like many of my images that I'm really after a kind of a beauty. I'm not after the tension that is part of our world. I'm not trying to escape it either. And so the divisions are, in some cases, pleasant. This particular shape that is highly articulated with a unusually straight line has a sharp edge feeling to it, and brings another aspect of the word division into play.